Hello, Pilipinas, and welcome to the bench. This is the bench, and welcome to our huddle, where we offer a late ball by a bunch of regular dudes who eat, breathe, and sleep basketball. Anyway, I have to fix that spiel. Anyway, it's game three of the finals. It's Bucks and Phoenix. And before we start anything else, I'd like to introduce you to my left. Here's Jay.
Yo, boom, ba-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, ba-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. He's a super freak, super Greek, is super freaky, super freak, super Greek, is super freaky. I guess we all know who won by now, right?
Tapos na ba?
Tapos
Woo!
na, tapos na, tapos na.
Tapos na?
Get some water,
Okay.
dude. Drink some water.
Okay.
Pahinga ka
Okay.
muna,
So,
pahinga ka muna.
okay.
Right below me is, right above us is
It's Mike.
Hey
Mike,
guys,
who's on?
I'm not gonna sing, but hey guys.
So I don't know if we're
That
gonna
was
lose.
a fun game.
Yeah, that was a fun game. Well, I don't know if we're gonna lose chip with that, but the Milwaukee Bucks take Game Three of the NBA Finals, 120 to 100 over the Phoenix Suns. And do we have a series?
We do. But hey, they heard it. We said it first here, man. We told it from the article, from what we talked about in game one, in game two, the adjustments that the Milwaukee Bucks had to make. They did today. Bud heard us, man.
Bud heard us. Yep. Mike, what did you feel or think?
Well, yeah. I think but as we've been talking about it for the last two episodes and in our chat room, no, and what they need to do to, make it a contest, at least a close one. And
Right.
I was telling you guys earlier, na this was a critical game for the Bucks, not because they had to, of course they had to score one, otherwise you'd be down 3-0, but they needed to really put a dent on the Suns' of confidence. The Suns were rolling. Even early on in the game, I noticed na even when the Bucks were making their runs, the Suns were they were pretty composed with how they responded until that
They still were.
until that punch in the face when the Bucks, I think that was a 16 to something run.
20
Six
to 6.
20
Yeah.
to 6
20 to
there you
6.
go. Yeah, 6 until that punch in the face, and
This was
then yeah, so
right.
it was a good win. I think more kahit pa paano, but it puts in a little doubt on the Suns' ability to to close this out sooner than later. So yeah, it was a good game.
During the first quarter, I remember our chat. It's like with the Suns, they were so relaxed because they felt they could play with the Bucks.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, Aiton was looking like a Akeem cross David Robinson.
Start the game.
No,
really.
diba? I mean, no,
Then
I
he
mean,
got
he was
into foul
he was
trouble.
he was
Okay.
he was looking really good in the start. I
Yeah.
mean, I know we got into a banter about that, and I
Yeah,
could not, but
I can't believe you gave us a hard time earlier, and then you're gonna mention it in this.
no, because
No,
what
no,
I like,
yeah,
I just like to banter on our messages, but the reality was, point is that Aiton even was looking good. He was looking like Aiton is more of a lob threat type of guy and not creating his own shot yet. But all of a sudden, in the first quarter, he was looking like, whoa,
yeah.
He got a lot of
Mhm.
touches.
yeah,
It was
he
good for them for a while at least because they were keeping pace. Up until Bud decided to put Yanis at center,
yes,
and it worked.
and it worked.
Yep.
Not to our surprise, not to our surprise, but it worked, man. They ran. He anchored the D. They were able to run. Drew got uncorked finally. He made
Yeah.
5 out of 10 3 pointers today, and he helped. Middleton was his usual solid self naman. And I think that was the game right
Yeah.
there.
To your point, Jay, Giannis playing center. Um, Brook Lopez got to play a lot of garbage time pa nga in the fourth quarter na when it was tambak.
Oh,
But
right.
um,
Doon na. Yeah.
Brooke Lopez had 21 minutes. He was about 26, I think, the last game. And then all of a sudden, Bobby Portis, who I think there was a comment by one of the viewers who said he only had 19 minutes total in the first two games, and he
Right.
plays
Two
18.
games and he played.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah,
played
there you
18
go.
minutes kagad in
And he
this game.
produced 11 points. No.
Mm-hmm.
11 points, yes.
Right.
8 rebounds. 11
Yeah,
points and 8 rebounds with
yeah,
a tray.
yeah.
So
Did a good job playing the four while Giannis was playing the five.
that really started off like you were saying, Mike, but that really took off what that started the whole run
Right.
for the Bucks when
And
Giannis was in center.
and for me, there's two sides to that story. It's how the Bucks brought it now, and their counter strategy and how it worked, and also the lack of scoring from the Phoenix Suns backcourt. So
Yes.
if you look
Book
at
in
yeah,
particular.
if you look at I mean, was that game one where we were looking at the free throws as the differentiator of the
Yes.
the
Game one,
score?
yes. Hmm.
Yeah.
If you look at the I mean, if you're just gonna simplify where the 20 points went for Phoenix, it's Booker scoring 10 as opposed to his usual 30 that he would score in
Yep.
games like this, diba? So that's where
Or
you
at
can
least in
find
the
some.
high 20s. Yeah.
Right, right. So yeah.
Yeah. What was I going to if
Did the no? Did the Bucks have more free throw attempts? I think they did
I
this
can
game.
check I can check that out, but okay. On your point lang, well, Chris Paul had a decent 19 and Booker had 10. So that's way lower than I
It
mean,
was an
It's lower.
impactful
Yes.
19 though, no? I mean, it was spread across all quarters.
Yeah, but I think more or less he kept them alive, and I mean,
Nothing like what he did. He did, but nothing like what he did. What was that? Game one or
yeah.
two, where he scored 16 points in the third quarter. Nothing like that. All 19 of his points were spread across his playing time. So
the Bucks
nothing really impactful there.
the Bucks had 10 more points, 10 more free throws.
10
In
more
this
free
game.
throws. There you go.
26 more
That's
attempts,
essentially half the lead, man.
26 attempts for the
And then
Bucks
you take away.
to 16 of the Suns. So 10 more free throw
Hmm.
attempts for the Bucks in this game. And you mentioned the Chris Paul
There you
backcourt
go.
also. And that's a formula
Right.
also.
Right.
That's a formula right there.
Yeah.
And
To give credit to Monty at least also tried to wing it and tried to come up with strategy
Right.
within the game
Right.
and not
yeah,
wait for the next game to try and come up with something. He played micro ball.
yeah, that's
Parang
what I
it
was
was Cam na yata or Bridges was
Right.
playing
no,
Right.
center at
no,
one point.
it was crowded. That's what I was trying to think of the thought right after Giannis playing center.
A
And thank you,
Crowder,
Jay.
right?
Right.
Thank you for bringing it up. It was Simonti tried to counter with micro ball naman,
Yeah,
cause
yeah, yeah.
and then that's when they got even more. Parang Giannis was eating up Aiton.
Wala.
Yeah.
So
Kinain.
ay, di ba? So Monty tried to come up with
Kinain
some
lalo.
different strategy, and he tried micro ball,
Right,
Hmm.
and
right,
Giannis went even wilder. So then he went back to Kaminsky
right.
later on. Remember,
Right.
Kaminsky.
Wow. Kaminsky couldn't even set proper screens today, man.
Yeah,
Wala
that's
Pero
true.
eh.
That's true.
pero yun, that's what makes you wonder nga how the thought process is of Bud with adjustments and all that. Because if you look at the matchup of
In a
Brook
while,
Lopez and Aiton, that's an easy matchup that's an easy matchup for
Ayton.
Aiton eh. So that's
Yeah.
clearly a
Yeah,
mismatch for the Bucks. Now, I don't know why it took him a while to figure out that he has one guy in the bench that can actually outmatch any center in the league if he only put that guy in the five spot. No?
In
So,
the
and he
middle,
did.
yeah.
And he did, diba? I mean, yeah.
yeah.
He did. He did. Eventually, he did. Took his time, but he did.
Baka delayed yung dating ng stream natin siguro sa US, dude. Kaya hindi niya
Baka
napanood agad.
ngayon lang siya naka-like ng Facebook
Parang,
page natin.
parang sa atin talaga galing, ano?
I'm just thinking, do we know? 'Cause, I mean, Aiton still ended up with 18 points and
Yeah.
9 rebounds despite his foul trouble. I I find that
Well,
guy
yeah,
really.
that's
He
another
had a
thing
really
also.
good start. He had a really good start. And then they tried to bring him back again, no? Pero the game was already on the Bucks side todo eh.
Yeah.
he could not have made any impact to change the
Correct.
course of what was already happening.
Well, you know what? We're
Too
not even
late.
okay. We're not even talking. Well, we're talking about. Ako, I just realized something. We're talking about the Coach Bud move of putting Giannis on the five and all that, right? But our intro was super Greek, super freak. We have to give it to Giannis, dude.
Correct.
I mean,
Mhm.
Oh yeah, man.
back to back 40-point game.
Only yeah, only two players in NBA history that's been able to come up with over 40 and over 10 rebounds in back-to-back games. And that's Shaq and Giannis. Dude, that's a pretty
And
amazing stat right
ano,
there.
LeBron
Dapat matagal nang naisip ni
No, no.
Bud yan eh, di ba?
and LeBron.
No, no,
Lagi
no.
mo.
Yes, back-to-back 40 points, but only Shaq and him with back-to-back 40 points and over 10 boards.
No, pati LeBron, dude.
For both games, ah. No, no. For both games.
What do you mean both games?
LeBron had two back-to-back 40-point games.
No,
Shaq and
no, no,
Giannis only had over 40 and over 10
no,
rebounds.
no, no. It's pati LeBron, dude. He did it in 2016 with the
Over 10
Cavs.
rebounds
Yes,
talaga?
over 40 points, 10 rebound, back-to-back finals games.
Oh, magko-comment ako mamaya dun sa Sports Center page, man. Mali sila.
So it's
Ako,
Shaq in
ako,
Loko
2000,
yun, ah.
yeah, LeBron in 2016. Well, we have to check this also because I found somebody post this also online. It's a
kung
graphic.
Yeah,
20,
yeah.
kung
I'm
26,
only referring and getting my info from the Sports Center
And
kung
it's
chat room
20,
no,
section.
it's funny lang, dude. Kasi I think twice na. I think there was another record that we mentioned early on. I think game one yun eh. Na they were comparing Yanis also or Chris Paul, but the first time or Giannis broke a record, and then you missed out on LeBron again. Dalawang
and he's
beses
your
mo na. Dalawang beses mo na nakakalimutan si LBJ, dude.
Wow, para kung dinidis yung team ko ah.
Hindi,
Labo
tapos
niyan.
ako pa yung nagtatanggol. The irony, dude. Okay, carry
well,
on.
ako,
Carry on.
no,
Irony,
no, no.
it's the LeBron non-fan that's correcting the Laker
I,
fan.
I will just say anything LeBron did in 2016, I think I forgot.
Of course you did. Of course.
Of course you would.
Oh,
It
Di
was
ba?
against
What?
the Dubs,
ay, di ba?
man.
What? 2016 LeBron? Didn't
Ano
they?
yan?
I won't say it. I won't say it.
Sports
Because
amnesia yan.
sports amnesia talaga. I remember the
But
Dubs were up to.
to be fair to me, I've only really been supporting LeBron or have become a fan of LeBron during that Cavs run, and the the last one, huh? Before the move to the Lakers. So I'm
You
new
know
with
what?
the LeBron
I'm
fandom.
I'm gonna seg I'm gonna seg that thing that we were talking about in the chat where I saw a meme. I saw this meme that LeBron traded away all his youngsters to win a title. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to bring this up. There was a meme that said
Yeah,
LeBron
that's crazy, man.
trades away all his youngsters to win a title,
Parang,
and Chris Paul
Then
parang I
takes a
need,
bunch of youngsters to be or to get to the finals because Chris Paul hasn't really won yet, and Chris Paul takes a bunch of youngsters to the finals,
ah
and that's a
uh-huh,
meme that's going around the internet.
parang wait lang
uh-huh.
Wait lang Can you guys give me a
Okay.
minute? Parang I need
Eh,
popcorn for this
People
eh.
people might not get what we're talking about if we don't deep dive a little.
Parang
Go ahead, go
hindi.
ahead, go
Parang I
ahead.
need popcorn lang for this. But
Explain a
sige,
bit,
sige.
Julio.
Bahala na.
Oh,
Next time na.
I saw that meme on the net, and I was like, uh, Chris Paul's great. He got the Suns to the finals after being from a non-playoff team. But are we forgetting that LeBron had 8 straight finals? The guy has 4 titles, 8 straight finals, 10 finals all in all. And just
And
because,
then they're dissing him with that meme.
yeah, no, and there. I mean, I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm a Dubs fan.
It's
But I mean,
crazy.
real
Yeah,
is
yeah, but
real is real in
come
basketball.
on.
I mean, I didn't like there. See that cap right
Yeah,
there of Mike?
common basketball sense, man.
Yeah, that cap right
If
there
you know
was
your basketball, that meme would not mean
yeah,
anything.
diba? That was my
Right?
bane in
Yeah,
the
man.
90s. That cap right there. But you ask me, Jordan, I mean, I cannot deny that Jordan denied so many other stars a title. And
Yeah,
so
dude, we can. It's quite a lot of them.
yeah. So for me, I find it funny nowadays where um the internet and the internet virality of things goes from game to game, from series to series, and we forget what parang it's like I call them like Dory, NBA Dory from from Finding Nemo. It's like you forget
Right?
that,
Yeah.
'di ba? I mean,
Yeah, man. What they've done prior to this season, it's crazy.
Chris Paul is a good story. It's a really, really nice story. He is a 16-year vet in the league, one of the
Who's
he's
finally gonna make it to his? Who finally
finals,
made
diba?
it to his first finals? First,
He's he's gonna be a Hall of Fame player.
just to remind everyone listening, man.
He's gonna be a Hall of Fame player, whether I like him or not. He might even be Finals MVP when this is all done, whether I
Right,
like him or not. But
right, right,
um,
right, right.
and I don't have to tear another player down to bring up Chris Paul. Chris Paul, I don't like Chris Paul, but Chris Paul, I mean, let's also keep the Chris Paul thing real and not tear down also another great just to lift up Chris Paul. I mean,
Yeah.
that's that's what I was thinking. Like, I mean, I don't even like LeBron, but dude, LeBron went to 8 straight finals, 10 finals. All I mean, the guy carried so much
How old
teams.
was How old was he when he took the Cavs to the finals against the Spurs? I mean, dude,
Uh,
and who was he playing with?
yeah,
That
Mike,
roster was nada.
I'll pull it up right now. Mike, what was
That's
the
that was 2007, diba? If I'm not mistaken.
I think
2007
so. I
Cavaliers?
believe so.
Okay, let's
So he
go.
was it's fourth year in the league niya yun.
Yes.
Fourth year lang ba yun?
Fourth or fifth. He entered
Parang
Yeah,
2003, fourth, 2007, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It's the 2007 Cavaliers, and
The Spurs. Yeah,
dude, yeah,
yun
dude,
yung Parker
this is
MVP,
Put
diba?
there.
his experience here was 3 years. This is his fourth year in the league, and he
Uh-huh.
brings
Uh-huh.
Ilgauskas, Larry Hughes. I remember this lineup. It was
Yes.
Ilgauskas starting
Yeah.
center, Larry Hughes, and then remember Booby Gibson off the bench to Rookie pa lang siya
Yeah.
Drew Gooden.
Right.
I'm not
Mhm.
sure who was the starter, but si Damon Jones was or Eric Snow was the starting guard here. I forget that part na.
Yeah.
But I remember it was Ilgauskas, Drew Gooden.
Bottom line is, he took a bunch of nobodies.
Mhm.
He took a bunch of nobodies to the finals at the age of 22. Come on, man.
Right.
And then they put that meme up about him trading the. It's just crazy. It's just
Diba?
crazy.
So I mean, so I
And
just see a lot of
the casual fan would bite on that, and
yeah, diba?
oh,
Like
ito naman si Chris Paul,
or casual fan who wants to go on the LeBron hate. I mean, diba? Okay,
Yeah, well,
Well,
yeah.
now kasi when I notice
There's
is
a lot of that
you know
also.
how
Guilty from before.
we used to hype matchups in the 90s. We
yeah,
used to
yeah,
hype series. We used to hype MJ versus Magic. You know all these
Right,
mga ano.
right, right, right.
Parang now because of the internet and the attention span of people, parang every game has to be hyped up. Every game needs to
yeah.
have a story and
There's an
all of these
extra narrative after every game, diba? Parang
right. Hindi, that's how these mga how people overreact to 0-2 deficits in
yeah,
series, 'di ba? Na parang
and
tapos na agad 0-2
Di pa nga nakakalaro
ser-
sa home court ng
uh,
kabila eh.
series over, 'di ba?
yeah, I mean tayo. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
Diba, we always used to say 0-2 is nothing. That's chill. We wait for game 3 and game
Right,
4.
right.
That adds to a new meme I saw recently. Now lang, today, this afternoon, when there was a meme about Giannis daw telling everyone, parang everyone was like, what was the thing about Giannis was saying na, I told you guys to take you out of the
Yeah.
dirt and all that. I told you guys. It was some,
Right, right,
they
right.
Yeah,
put
from
Giannis's face.
Bleacher Report. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Uh,
put Giannis's face on this thing telling sina Drew daw and Middleton, na, I'll take you out of the. I'm like, okay, great. What else did we expect from the Super Greek or the Super? I mean, he's their top player. We're expecting this, right?
right,
This is
right.
not like some. This is not like some. All of a sudden, wow.
He's been doing it consistently. What we've been asking for, at least from the coach's side, was to make that
Yeah.
change. Utilize your superstar, your amazing talent, diba, to his strengths rather than make him a guy that's supposed to
Yeah.
create his own shots. And he's just really not that eh. But dude, diba, he's been, the other game, he also naman had 40 something. He also had more than 10 boards,
Yeah.
a couple blocks. It's the same game essentially, but from a different position, it creates havoc. It created something that the Suns tried to repel, but they couldn't,
I
man.
think it's that nga because everybody's giving Giannis a hard time on his
Because of his free throws
inconsistency. And no,
and
even
his free throws.
in the
Yeah.
scoring inconsistencies niya. Kasi if you look at the playoffs, it's not every game that he's really doing what he needs to do, diba? There are games that he gets stymied on offense, and he's
Right,
so.
right.
I For me, it's not. I wouldn't say it's all Bud's fault. Also, I mean, there has to be some blame on Giannis also on him figuring out what he can do on on
What he
on
should be doing,
yeah, what
yeah,
he
yeah.
should be doing regardless of what sets they're running or regardless of what
Right,
strategy they're employing, diba? Pero
right.
in the terms of in Bud's ano naman side, yeah, it's putting Yanis nga, like you said, Jay, it's putting Yanis in the that position to be able to be more effective than
More
yeah.
impactful, yeah.
So
I I likened it to Shaq. I mean, hindi lang kasi we're they got so you. I mean, this day and age, like we're used to the Jordans that turn into the LeBrons who handle the ball. But I mean, Shaq couldn't have handled the ball into
right.
being Shaq. Also, I mean, that's why he had a hard time in Orlando because he still needed Phil and the system to work with him to dominate in the Lakers.
Right,
Well,
right,
the thing
right.
with the thing with Yanis din kasi, if you look at his game now, dude, he looked like he had the full arsenal of offensive weapons
Yeah, I know.
available to him. So, kumbaga
I know.
he's giving he's giving a lot of material din to the people to talk about him. Kasi
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't see I mean, where were the fadeaways? Where were the jump hooks,
I
diba?
know.
In the Atlanta series or the
Minsan
or
lumabas eh. Saan galing yun?
saan galing yan, 'di ba? If you had that all along pala, 'di
Diba?
ba? Ba't ngayon lang lumabas, 'di ba? So
Eh, ganun ka pala eh. Dirk
You
Nowitzki
see,
ka pala eh.
and then he did, and then it was funny early on in the game. I think it was within the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes. He did a mga 17-footer na pull up. Na parang, di ba that's what
Yeah.
we've been
Rather than
whining.
settling for that three, di ba?
Oh, so it didn't go in, pero watching him do it, di ba parang,
Right, right.
di
It's
ba
a
deal
shot he should
na.
be taking.
Yeah, so
Yeah, yeah.
so are we seeing the transformation of Giannis from a two-time MVP into a championship type Giannis
Possible
player?
finals MVP.
well, yeah,
Well,
kasi
maybe
it's
I
you
not.
know
think
what I
it's
mean.
too early. I think it's too early. But he has had
Yeah.
the two back-to-back awesome games, no? But he's only produced one win so far. So we'll see
Yeah.
if they can continue to do this for Game 4, and let's also see what Monty will be doing because I am pretty sure he's got a few tricks up his sleeve also.
Here,
I'm very curious now as to how Game 4 is going to be played because it was becoming boring, no? Game 1 and 2
right.
exactly the same way, man.
Well,
Both games were won exactly the same way. Everything happened the same way. Parang it was to be expected na that the Bucks played a certain way and that the Suns played a certain way. Today, it threw it all up into the air again,
which is a
right?
good,
Which is exciting for us NBA fans and exciting for
perfect kasi
for the basketball geeks like we are.
si Miguel has a question here. Which is related to what you were saying, Jay. After the game, does your final prediction change at all?
Right now, not yet. I still have the Suns winning this, but we shall see. And I want to be proved wrong, huh? I want to be proven wrong by the Bucks because I want to see a game 7, man. Make this interesting.
I still think the Suns will win it. Okay. I think the Suns will win it, but I do start seeing that Giannis will give a performance that will make him there into a contending type of player as opposed to a regular season MVP lang type of player. That's what he's gonna bring to the table, but it won't be enough
Right.
pa rin for them to give
Win
Chris
it
Paul
all.
his finals MVP.
Right,
Sad
right.
to say.
Ako, I agree.
Wow, coming from you, ah.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. I think it'll be more competitive. At least this is what we wanted. This game was what we wanted to see from the get
We
go.
wanted to
We wanted
see,
to
yeah.
see, kasi on paper, both teams should be evenly matched, diba? The way they've been playing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right,
So yeah,
right.
ako, I'm just happy. Again, Levi said naman when these two teams make it to the finals, I don't care na who wins. Di- Hindi nasasama loob ko whoever wins. Then I think I've rooted for the Bucks to get out of the East for the longest time already. I think for the last 3 years while you guys were Miami, diba? And now they're there. But then I have Booker on the other side, which I'm you know really liking the how his whole approach and his game. And kaya parang, okay, you know what? I'll just let the basketball gods decide, and I'll not. I'll just enjoy it.
That's you mentioned Booker. That's another thing. I'm looking to see a Booker
Right,
bounce back game
right,
next game.
yeah,
Or bounce back. Me naman,
I think if our feelings for how good a player
hmm
Booker is correct, I
right,
think he'll bounce back next game.
right,
I I'll add lang to what Mike said that I like how the Bucks came out kasi Phoenix kind of gave a they punched the Bucks good in the mouth in the first two
hmm
games and walang magawa yung Bucks. So the Bucks had to show Phoenix that
Right.
they can punch back.
right,
I mean, 'di ba? To
Yeah.
parang you know how in boxing, 'di ba when we watch boxing that it's the parang that's why Manny would just I think hit people to make him feel how powerful he is para may
right,
konting takot ng
right,
konti,
right, right.
'di
Exactly.
ba? So
So yeah, I think
um
I think to that point,
Yung nga eh.
with what the Bucks did, I think it inserted a little bit of doubt with the Suns. Now
oh
it'll
yeah.
be an easy series for them. Kasi they
And
were
then all
really they were really
Correct.
rolling, 'di ba? Going into this game, they were
yeah,
rolling, and even in the first quarter, they were rolling. Na
they
parang,
were
'di ba, we
rolling
were
in the
talking
first
about it nga
quarter.
kanina na they were just parang uh in that holding pattern until they're just waiting for that opportunity to pounce. They were just trading baskets with the Bucks, but then and then they get
Right.
punched in the mouth, which is exactly what the Bucks needed to do.
Right.
I,
They sort of countered, they brought the game
Yeah,
back down to four at a certain point in the third. And then they took Paul out of the game, and boom!
yeah,
And Giannis played on the five again, and that wala na
yeah.
after that last punch. And to Julio's theatrics with regards to the punches, parang the first two games from the Suns were a lot of really good jabs,
hmm
that put the Bucks in their place, kept them there. Really good jabs. But what the Bucks did today was sort of, medyo may knockout power yung dating.
Yeah,
20 points, man.
yep.
yeah. But of course, I mean I'm not going to be the internet. I'm going to reel myself in also and say that
Yeah.
If the Bucks don't win Game 4, we throw everything out the window again,
Right,
right?
right.
Because
Yes,
Yeah.
I
yes.
mean, super freak, super Greek, and then if you score 16 points in Game 4 and go 3-4 whatever, and you shoot 2 from 11 from the free throw line, here come the memes all over again.
Yeah. And maybe we'll be whining again about him needing a pull-up jumper.
Yeah, yeah, heavy diba? So
Walang go-to move
walang
kasi.
go to move. I
Ganun lang
mean,
yan.
diba?
Alam mo naman, we're all emotional fans, di ba? So
I know.
we kind of ride on these mga emotions per games eh.
Naka 40-point victory lang pala si Giannis, sayaw na ako. Ano ba yan?
The question is, of game 4, does he have to produce another 40-point game, his third in a row, for them to have a chance to win? He can't
That's a
be averaging
wait,
40 points, man,
that's a
just for
really
them to
wait,
keep
no, no.
to have a
That's
chance at winning. Ah.
that's a really good question,
Yeah.
Jay. You know why?
Diba?
Because I can't answer it. You know why? Because
No,
superstars, no, I'm serious. I like can average 40 points if they need to average
Right.
40 points to make their teams win. Now, the question is, should he come up with 40 points to make the Bucks win? If that's what it takes, and he is super Greek, yes, he has to come up with 40 points. I mean, sana sina Middleton and Drew can help, but why not? Why? I mean,
Little more,
George.
no?
I mean, diba? He's the superstar. He has the super
Yeah.
max. He is the two-time MVP, and he has his own shoe line.
He's the super Greek.
He's the super Greek. So I think will I don't know. He should if that's the way it has to be to win. You might go. What-
If it's the only way for them to win, no?
Yeah,
Well, for me, I don't think it's the it's na yun lang. I mean, that's what they have to do lang to win. No, I think end of the day, it's still a contribution between their big three that'll win the day for them.
Middleton and
You know what was funny with I'm looking back kasi 'di ba I had Yanis in our fantasy league, 'di ba? And you know how, just for the viewers lang, there are certain days, especially during the last day of that fantasy week, that we're todo making bantay our stats because we're trying to catch up in a particular category. And when I would always make bantay Yanis stats, I noticed that he wouldn't score much in the first half. That was the pattern for the whole year. He didn't score much in the first half. He would get his assists there, he would get his rebounds there. And then when it's winning time, that's when he steps on the gas and it starts to score. And then
Or more. Yeah.
he has like off the top of my head, he would have a typical game would to him would be 8 points in the half, and then he would end with 36 or 42 or something like that. So ako, you know, it, the Bucks have to take their cue from Giannis, but the two have to step up in the same way that the Suns couldn't win today because Booker wasn't there. Eh, kumbaga,
For today, yeah.
even if CP3 scores 50 a game, if Booker scores 10, then baliwala, diba?
Talo pa rin.
So I think it's
Yeah.
especially with how these teams are built, and they're very selfless offense. I think it's really the collective and who's big three. If you're talking about CP3, Booker, and Aiton, and on the other side, Drew, Middleton, and Giannis, whoever big
Middleton. Yeah.
three contributes more collectively, I think will take the series. And so far, that's been the Suns, diba? Until this game,
Right.
I
Right. The
wonder what
bench also, no?
right?
Even today with the Bucks win, the Suns bench actually still outscored
Right.
the Bucks bench.
Hmm.
So
I was gonna say. I
it
want
really more so I think for the Bucks, more so for the Bucks,
Right.
the big three really need to produce. So
Yeah.
that
Oo nga.
Giannis has been producing. So it really is. It boils down to Drew and Middleton.
Right. Kasi yung Suns nga, they have a wider safety net in Cam Johnson and Cameron Payne. So,
Yes.
yeah. So,
Yes.
yeah, agree.
I'm just smiling because
Both are able to produce it.
you mentioned about Booker, and I'm starting to think that what's Kendo's incentive now for Game 4? I mean, that's why I wanted to let's not leave the. I mean, I just started smiling.
Also, wait,
on stream.
that Kendall comment went before the game today,
Which one?
and then Booker ended up with 10 points. That Kendall comment, did it happen before the game today?
I think that
Was
was
it in
after
between
game
game
2.
3 and 4?
That's after Game 2 yet. But
Ah,
that wasn't even really her comment. That was just
Yeah,
a
it was
meme that went
ito sa
around. Yeah,
meme. Just,
someone someone said, well, that's not. It's not a real comment. Also, but so
no, baka kasi malas eh.
pero I know. I know where you
Alam
were
mo
getting
naman
at.
yung
What you were getting
Kardashians. Alam mo naman
No,
yung
no.
Kardashians.
I know. I thought
May
I got
olats yan.
or baka he didn't want to be a dad yet. What? You left my baby? No.
Oo, kaya nagpatalo.
Talo. Yo.
Okay.
Yo pa eh.
So hey, we haven't really touched on this yet. Maybe we can before we wrap it up in a few. What kind of throwing it to both of you, maybe Mike can go first, then Julio. But what kind of adjustments should Monty make in case Bud decides to continually use Giannis at the 5 spot?
Ako for me, I think they're good. I think a big part of the Suns' problem now was Aiton's foul trouble. I think kaya ganun, kaya Giannis feasted in the paint is because Aiton couldn't really, be his usual
Wasn't
self on
there.
the defensive end. So whether he was there nga
Yeah,
or even when he was there, he
good
was
point.
he was managing his fouls. So I think with the Suns' original strategy, I haven't seen yet that the Bucks can counter that when the Suns are firing at all cylinders. So I think it's just them for now doing what doing what they've been doing in the
Been doing.
finals,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
see if it'll hold up and if the Bucks can hang with them.
Essentially, nothing
Oh,
drastic
medyo
needed
nasira
yet.
eh.
You
I
know?
think I think now they got punched in the face, and I don't think it's panic time. Well, it's not panic time because they still lead the series 2-1. So I don't think they have to try anything drastic. It's good that,
Right.
see, like you mentioned, si Monty was experimenting na. At least, 'di
Already,
ba?
no?
Yeah, already. So at least hindi na niya,
Yeah.
he knows na what works and what, what in something siguro we can say na an inconsequential na game since it's pretty much blown out na yung 'di ba? So
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Right, right.
So yeah, I
What
think they
about you,
should just
Julio?
stay the course.
I'm kind of there. I if I was Monty Williams and the Suns, it's kind of like what Mike said. I'd probably still. We were in it in the first quarter. They were in it in the first quarter. I'm thinking like Monty na. So I'm gonna tell the players like we were in it in the first quarter, and then so it's still gonna be the same unless all of a sudden Giannis starts at center. That's a whole different story. But
Right.
if the Bucks come out with the same starting lineup and then at some point in the game we'll go to Giannis at center, it's still game four. And if I can put pressure on the Bucks in game four to beat me again, like because I'm up to one, so
right,
I'd still put pressure on them to beat me again because if I can take game four, I'm it. I'm up 3-1 and I
Right.
can close it out at home. So nothing drastic. I don't
at
think
home.
anything.
Mhm.
Same game plan, more micro tweaks here and there.
Right.
I mean, to see if he can stave off the Giannis playing center. Because if he can't, and the same thing happens in game four, they go back 2-2, and now it's a whole new
Right,
chess match again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
right, right.
And actually, to add to the
I'm,
what can they do on if Giannis starts at center or continues to play center and dominate, maybe we can see a Hakayanis later on in the
Yeah.
series, di ba? Parang doon na yun papunta eh.
we've not seen it yet,
Yeah,
no?
yeah, we haven't seen it
Right,
yet. I mean,
right,
Monty's that,
right.
parang I'm thinking lang si Monty's not that kind of coach, pero I think push comes to shove and, Giannis continues to eat them up in the paint. I think we'll see more of that later on.
Really, but now you guys made
Or
me think.
harder fouls, make him
Now,
feel the
Yeah.
fouls inside.
now you guys made me think.
Well,
Actually, what if they just decide to start Giannis? May counter ba yung Phoenix?
yan, di ba?
I mean, the what if that
Right.
becomes? But I mean, I'm still assuming that it'll be Brook Lopez, Giannis. What if biglang all of a sudden Bud decides to
He
go
starts
Giannis
on fire at the fight
Portis
spot.
Ako, if I were to gamble,
Right.
or
okay,
Giannis Tucker?
kasi you can always trap Giannis in the post eh. The problem with trapping Giannis in the post, will free up the shooters eh. And Milwaukee
You
hasn't and Milwaukee hasn't shown they can be consistent with their outside shots. So if I were the gambling coach, if I were kunyari Monty and I were to gamble, I'd gamble with, sige nga, make your shots first. You know what? We're trapping Giannis since this is the most effective offensive weapon you have now for us. They will trapping him, and you guys have to will live and die by you guys making or missing threes, diba?
Right.
on so
Right.
you, banking on Giroux and Middleton to start making their shots, so to speak.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same, the strategy they employed with Jordan
Yeah,
before, diba? It's choose eh.
It's
You
still
shut
the
down
same. Yeah, yeah.
Jordan or you shut down the entire band, the rest of the key players like Kukoc and Pippen noon, diba? So most of the time, what they did was, they let Jordan score his and they shut down Pippen and Kukoc kasi they can't sa ano. So you can do the reverse here with Giannis and shut him down. Kasi ako feeling ko if you trap Giannis, as good as a game that he played earlier, if you start trapping him and double teaming him, I don't think he has a game
yeah.
for
Countering that.
countering
They
that
were
with offensive firepower. Eh.
they weren't exactly trapping him like that one move you saw when
No,
No, no,
he
they
drove
weren't.
and
They
then he
weren't yet.
dunked. That was
no, they
against
were just
Crowder.
clogging the lane,
Yeah, they
which
were
is
just
Yeah,
kind
been
of, pero
what
they
they've been
were, yeah,
doing most games earlier.
straight up defense pa sila kanina nga.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Well,
I think it
kasi,
also needs to be mentioned.
kanina
Yeah,
din kasi the
go
Bucks
ahead.
were shooting pretty well eh. So they couldn't leave Giannis, they couldn't leave the shooter also to double eh. So naunahan din kasi sila talaga.
I'm looking kasi here at the
Medyo
stats of
naalanganin the zone a little
Yeah, yeah.
kanina,
Well,
kahit papaano.
the Bucks broke the
But I think
zone. Yeah,
one
yeah.
thing, yeah. I think one thing that also needs to be mentioned was that elbow that was there completely for games 1 and 2, kanina was defended really well
Right, right.
by the Bucks.
Hmm.
Very, very good adjustment. Everything that CP3 had to take there earlier was contested. I mean, he made good shots. It was just better offense, but it wasn't bad D anymore. They
yeah.
were there. They were right there at that elbow area. Maybe that's also why Booker couldn't get
Yeah,
uncorked
and
because that used to be easy for him. He
that's
scored most of his points from that spot also.
and that's interesting, Jay, kasi the Bucks have always been known to be a tough defensive
Yeah,
team, 'di ba? And normally these
right.
mga runs of theirs and their offense is triggered by their defense eh. When they start,
By the D, yeah.
when they start getting steals and turnovers and long rebounds and they run the ball, 'di ba? So it really worked to
Right.
perfection. It parang everything, the stars aligned for them today with everything they did on the court.
Today.
Pero,
Hence the 20-point lead, I
Right.
think.
yeah. No, but well, maybe this
Because
is my
if they're gonna win if they're gonna win the next game, I don't think it's gonna be by a blowout.
Yeah,
Either
yeah, yeah.
team, because
Yeah,
what?
I
The
think
Suns
it's
really
gonna be.
haven't blown them out either, no?
I'm
It's
gonna
gonna
add
be a closer game.
I'm gonna add to what Mike says lang about the 3-point shots and um Bucks shot 38% today as compared to 29 of the Suns.
Right.
They outshot the
Big
Suns today
difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
in trace, and Drew had 5 for 10 and Middleton had three
Right.
for
Hmm.
seven.
Yep, they really flipped the script on the Suns this game eh. Parang baliktad the
I think it
stats.
was it
Yeah.
was also it was also a lot to do with how the Suns shot. They just really couldn't, get
Even
themselves uncorked today. They didn't shoot well today.
Booker 1 for 7, Chris Paul 1 for 4
Yeah.
from three, and the
Yeah.
poster boy Cam Johnson 1 for 5. And then, and then it's funny because you know who shot really well from 3 pointers in this game? Guess.
Drew five
Drew.
for ten
No, from the Suns. Who?
from the Suns.
Yeah, it's funny actually.
Who? Kaminsky?
Crowder.
He's
Crowd.
out to prove us wrong. Yeah,
Crowder.
Crowder went
Crowder.
6 for 7
Crowder had
shots.
4, right?
Uh,
Oh wow,
Six,
six.
pinersonal ni
Six for
oh,
Crowder.
man.
7.
Pinersonal ni Crowder si Rafi.
Okay, before we wrap all this up, I think we were gonna discuss also since we all know that the big three of the Suns is, I guess we can call it Chris Paul, Devin
Yeah.
Booker,
And
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 DeAndre
Ayton.
Ayton, right?
yeah.
So we also know that those three are high draft picks. DeAndre Ayton being the first pick, well, Devin Booker being the lowest at 13,
Right.
but technically still within the lottery range.
Mhm.
So they are all lottery picks. I'm pulling out Chris Paul now, and Chris Paul, if I'm not mistaken, was the fourth pick. Yes, he was the fourth
Mhm.
pick overall in the 2005 draft because number 5 was Deron Williams. I remember that.
Right.
I was a big Deron fan. Um,
But he was rookie of the year, diba?
yeah, rookie of the year is
Right.
Chris Paul.
Yes.
Yes, he was good. I have to admit. So now, as we comparing them on to what you were saying, Mike, diba? It's a good comparison now. So you have the Phoenix Big Three who are all high lottery picks, and then if you throw it now into the other side with the Bucks, I guess their Big Three would be Giannis, Giroux, and
And Middleton.
sorry,
Middleton.
and Middleton. So for your reference, Giannis, we all know is a 15th pick.
Mhm.
That's out of the lottery. Drew Holiday was picked up on the 17th selection, so he was a 17th pick.
Also out.
Mhm.
And Chris Middleton was picked up in the second round as
Wow.
the
Right.
39th pick. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Jay? I mean, you have a stark contrast now in stars of both squads.
Right. Right. Well, I think both teams naman were built really well. Despite the difference between the big three, because the bench naman or the role players from the Suns, parang wala naman yatang may mga lottery picks ba dyan? Di naman din no?
Cam
But
Johnson.
anyway, to my point, parang Cam Johnson ba?
Yeah, 11.
But he was traded, no, for Culver.
Yeah,
Tama
yeah,
ba yun?
yeah.
Right.
Anyway, parang both teams were built really well. Maybe you can compare the Suns to the Dubs a little, and then the Bucks to the Spurs a little. Kasi, di ba, the Spurs have been having that penchant for developing players na
Mga
low picks
mga
Well,
second
they
pero
rounders.
became,
yeah. Well,
became assets for
Yeah.
the team.
they have
Oo.
they have
Di
Coach
ba?
Bud.
Mhm.
From the Spurs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, medyo, I think, yan yung best comparison dyan.
Mike,
Well, yeah. I think yeah, I agree with Jay. No, a little bit of the Spurs. With the Chamba. Let's call it Chamba na that they found the Middleton second round because end of the day a Pop, Nelly or a Jerry West who was the one who spotted Kobe and traded for him, diba?
Right,
Traded Divats for
right.
him, diba?
The
So
Bucks.
as good as they are, they had their flops also. Eh. So for me, it's still a lot of chamba. You can see the talent in a person, but it's really a lot there's a lot of luck involved also on how they will eventually turn out. Um,
And developing.
in developing, yeah.
Some develop,
So
some
yeah,
don't.
so meron
Yeah,
din yun. There's so many faces to it. Eh. It's spotting the
of
talent,
course. Yeah.
having the proper training team, training staff to develop the player. Because some people draft
Right,
excellent talent, but then don't have the training. The skills behind the coaching staff to develop players, 'di ba? And yun nga yung
right.
pinoproblema ni Julio now with with the Dubs, 'di ba? Na na they've been drafting high. I mean, they've been drafting high. They had quality picks supposedly that they missed. It's either they missed on their scout. They missed on their scouting report, or they weren't able to really develop the right players. Kumbaga,
Develop.
they
Yeah.
chose of the pool they drafted. They chose the wrong players to develop, and you can say the same for the Lakers, where when they chose Kuz over you know Randall over D'Lo over never mind D'Lo, si Randall na lang saka si
BI.
si Lonzo, di ba?
BI.
Brandon
meaning they kept
Ingram.
They
yeah,
got rid of BI rather than Cruz.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
malalim
yeah,
din
yeah.
eh. It's ano. So for the Bucks to be able to develop a Middleton who eventually became an all-star. I mean, props to them then, 'di ba? Na was
Right.
that under ano na ba? That was under Bud na, 'di ba?
No,
How
No,
long
no, no,
has
no,
not yet
been
pala,
how long has
sorry.
Bud been
not
with
yet,
Cruz?
not yet.
No, Bud was Atlanta pala. I was thinking kasi Bud left the Spurs in
Atlanta siya galing,
2013.
oh.
Right, right, right. He went
2012
pa pala
pa
to
si Middleton.
okay. So it was before pa ano. Yeah.
Yeah. Me, I'll add is that it's funny. It's funny how when it comes to team building, sometimes things go. You have a certain team that goes another route, and one team goes the other way. I mean, in this case, let's say in this case, for example, you have the Phoenix Suns. Because let's put it down first. I don't consider. Actually, that's. I thought you were gonna say that, Mike. I don't consider this is a finals where we do not have a buddy ball
Right,
team.
right.
We don't have a super team right now. I mean, I'll put that down, Muna. This is not a
Yes.
the
Yes,
Suns
yes.
and the Bucks are not your classic super teams. You wait. I'll
Yes.
defend. I'll defend Muna my Dubs in a while because the Dubs. No, because the Dubs became a super team when KD came in. So that I'll agree. Before KD, they were a squad that was
Yeah.
built. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
These players were
that's a
drafted.
whole
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
either drafted, free agency, or whatever. But kasi for me, a super team is like
Yes.
you get an established star. Now we'll talk about Chris Paul and Giroux later, but you get an established star, and you bring him along with your current crop of stars already, and that becomes a
Right.
super team. Or you do the buddy ball way, wherein KD and Kyrie they start
LeBron
being
gets AD.
Hmm.
LeBron gets
Yeah.
AD, KD, Kyrie move together. Miami, I mean that's the famous buddy ball in Miami.
Right.
Phoenix
Right.
built, I mean, they had high draft picks in these players. Booker not so high, but Aiton was a number one pick. And then they got Chris Paul. Does that make them a super team? In my book, huh?
I don't know.
Um,
In my book,
Chris,
no.
Chris Paul is a 16-year veteran already on his
Yeah,
last
vet.
leg.
They got a
So
vet. Yeah, they
they
got a
got a
vet.
vet.
So,
They
yeah.
got someone to get these young people nga and show them because they knew they had a good core and to show them, wait, this is how we get it
Yes.
done. This is how we pull together. So
Yes. Yes.
that's
What they
Phoenix
got was a
side.
vet, and that was a
Right.
player that was a leader.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's Phoenix side. In Milwaukee side
Yeah.
naman was a whole different story altogether because they drafted these players. Well,
Right. Save for Drew.
they drafted Giannis and Middleton. And those two
Hmm.
players went through several, not naman several, but I can't go through all the coaches, but they went first to Jason Kidd. I think they
Yeah.
went through a different GM at that time till they settled down with Bud. Because let's not
Right.
forget, Giannis was first developed by Kid. I mean,
Right.
Kid has his
Yeah.
coaching flaws and all that, but as a developer, Giannis loved him. And players do like playing for
Yes.
Kid.
Right.
Yes.
So
Right.
whatever the greatness Giannis is now, we have to attribute Jason Kidd a little because he was the one molding him
Right.
in the start,
Hmm.
diba?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So Jason Kidd helped developing Giannis and Middleton, and then Bud now is the recipient of those developments. So it worked out really well. And then they got Drew. So does that make them a super team? Also, no way. What they needed
No.
from
No.
No.
what they need, yeah, what they needed kasi was they needed a good guard from the start. Bledsoe was not doing it.
Hmm.
Um, Brogdon was not yet the one for them. He was not honed enough as a vet, siguro. Remember, they had Brogdon, ah?
Right.
Remember, Brogdon was rookie of the year for
That's
Milwaukee.
Right.
yeah. That's the one. Yeah. That's the one. I think the one that got away for them.
Right. Ako, I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Agree.
all
No,
know how he plays
yeah.
now. I mean,
Pero,
that guy can play.
pero for me, that's the one that got away. But I always said the proof is that they're in the finals. So we don't know also if
Hmm.
we cannot say definitively whether Brogdon could have brought into the finals or I mean he could definitely the way he plays now, but pwede also he
Right.
doesn't. The only thing
Yeah.
we see now is that they traded I think a total of 5 picks for Drew Holiday, and now the Milwaukee Bucks are in the finals. Even though Drew has his struggles or whatever, for whatever
Right.
reason that came, di ba we're talking Mike na, was it worth it if you look at Bledsoe and Drew's numbers? I think John Lee mentioned analytics wise, Drew is off the charts compared to
Sobrang
Bledsoe
lamang.
wise.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Pero
Yeah.
face value, their stats look kind of the same, right? But
Right.
you don't know the
The same.
intangibles of a
Right.
player in a
Right.
team, eh.
Right.
Di ba?
Locker room. Yeah.
Locker
Yeah.
room, how he can get players in a certain position na, dude, I'll pass to you
Right.
here. Ah,
Right.
dude, I'll do this.
Right.
Yung mga ganyan.
Right.
So,
Right.
for
And
me,
Drew is an all defensive, all NBA defensive player. So,
Hmm.
so there, I think this, well, to end, we can wrap up. On that discussion, I think Phoenix got the player that they needed for them to jump the gun. Milwaukee got the player they needed. And
yeah. Yeah.
it's nice to see a finals without super teams. I think that's safe to say. That these had
Yeah.
both their,
None of
diba?
us were rooting for. None of us. I mean, even if we thought it was practically a given, none of us wanted to see the Brooklyn Nets at the finals, man.
Yeah.
To be honest, right?
I was calling Lakers Nets the whole
Yan ang
season.
super
Diba?
body ball.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was
Yeah.
Well,
I was
for me
calling
naman,
diba,
ako
Lakers
with the
versus
Nets,
Clippers.
you know what? Ako, I'm not gonna fight it. Kasi feeling ko, they'll probably win one eventually next year, the year after.
If they can
I'm
keep
not gonna
that
fight
team
it.
together.
No, ang sa akin lang, I don't want them to win in the first year. You guys have to pay your dues. Parang
Yes, I
with all
agree.
that with all
Tama.
the players that came before that had to struggle. I mean, you're looking at Chris Paul now, 16 years in the league, diba? Now he gets his shot. You can't just waltz in with with a phone call na parang, you know what, let's get together and kick everyone's
Yes.
ass. Parang, no, that's
Not
not ano.
not even the great LeBron James could do that with Miami. If
Yes.
iba, not
Yes.
even the great, yeah. Michael Jordan had to pay his dues also.
Right. The only one
Um,
who never had to pay, well,
who?
yung Dubs lang.
No, the
when
Dubs.
no, but when KD entered,
Ah, well, no, yeah, but the Dubs paid their dues the next year when they were
yeah, yeah.
humbled by
But yeah,
LeBron. I mean,
yeah,
that,
yeah.
that's what they had to do.
No,
It
not the
wasn't
Dubs pala. Si
trailing.
KD. Si KD. Let's just target KD right there. Wala. Let's not beat
Oh, wag
around
mo
the
naman
bush.
daw
Dude,
dama yung buong team,
Oo
dude.
nga, sorry,
dude,
sorry. My bad.
Wag mo
Sorry
dama
na,
yung
sorry.
buong team.
KD might KD might join Nigeria for the Olympics, diba?
Well, yeah, that's the chismis.
Bakit? Kasi napalpal siya?
Hindi, kasi
Ganun.
No, kasi
talo sila eh.
natalo.
Talo sila, so he joins the team that beat him.
Kahalo nga,
Diba?
3 points.
Pero exhibition
Well,
lang
ako,
naman yun.
yan. I mean,
Mike Brown pala was coaching
Yes.
Nigeria. I didn't know
yeah.
that.
Dude, I was telling Mike nga, I was
You
messaging
mentioned
you
it
guys.
earlier at
I,
the
me-
chat.
I mentioned it so many times na in the chat 2 days ago, and then you put lang a thing from another site na hindi the bench, and then it's gold.
Alam
Hugot
mo
na naman,
naman,
hugot ba?
hugot na naman na, alam mo naman dun sa
Oh,
chat room natin
before,
eh. One comment can trigger 100 comments. So pag nahuli ka ng 2 minutes, dude, wala na.
No, but yes, Mike Brown is the
oh,
coach. Wait, go.
before we wrap it up, maybe last words on the game and on the next game.
But one last, the prediction board. Are we still
Oh
doing that? Wala na.
yeah, of course. The prediction board, pero wala. I don't have my high hopes for
Hi,
it
I
anymore.
scored one today. I picked the Bucks.
Ay, you picked the Bucks ba? Okay, let me correct this. Pare mali. I thought you picked the
What? Kasi
Suns.
diba, I've been picking the Bucks
I
ever
thought you
since it
picked the
started.
Suns. Okay,
Naman.
let me change the
What?
score then. Okay.
How
There, I
can
fixed
you
it
do
na.
that?
No, akala ko Suns ka. Dude. Ako lang pala mag-isa.
I'm still on voodoo mode.
Yeah. Okay. So you're up by 2 na, Julio, na. So
May two.
up by 2 with a possible 2, maybe 2 games left. So wala na. I have to
We'll
ano
see.
na. I have to make
Gugulo
kontra
na lang
na.
ako dyan eh.
I have to make
Ma-
kontra na your picks.
Suns ako for game 4.
Damn you.
No, diba? That's the thing, diba? The leader has to pick first.
I
diba?
know,
Kasi,
I know. Pero you're playing the best odds right now eh. Sige, wala na akong magagawa. Two game deficit. I'll go Bucks.
oh, knock. Okay.
Me naman, I'm picking the Suns this time. Oh.
Okay, so So ako na naman mag-isa sa Bucks kayong dalawa Suns. Okay.
Which means I want
Okay.
the Bucks to win the next game para mag-tie yung
Yan,
series.
yan. Pero baka kabahan masyado si Chris Paul niyan. Pare, let's not
Ay, nako. When's the next game? When's
So,
the next
last
game?
thoughts.
Thursday. The next game's Thursday. I think it's 9 na.
Thursday.
Back to 9 o'clock, yeah.
My last thoughts is that I'd like to see how game 4 goes. Because if the Bucks don't win game 4, it's back to I want to see what the draft na lang is for the Dubs. Wala na.
Yeah.
It still comes down to game 4. So parang this, for me, this game 3 win is like when you watch the series and to be continued.
Yeah.
parang,
Yes.
parang cliffhanger. So we'll find out on Thursday if I have a more definitive feel on how this series will go.
Mhm.
Ikaw, Mike.
Well, ako yeah. I think this is the this is the do or die game for me for the Bucks. If they lose this, it's over. I think if they lose game 4, it's over. Like Julio said, winning game 3 for me is just them getting up from being punched in the face. The punching back, for me the punching back will be game 4. So now they showed that
Alright.
kumbaga bumangon lang sila from that punch. So let's see if they can
Okay,
match.
So Jay, take us home,
me
Jay.
naman,
Okay, kala ko.
I want to see the Bucks get the next game, even the series, and maybe see Monty make more adjustments and make it more interesting naman for the NBA fans that don't have a team in the finals. And with that said, that's the huddle. And we said it first here on
The
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 bench.
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 Bye bye, guys.
All right, man. Cheers. Take care, y'all.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Oh.